My check. Hold on, am I live? Was this the cold part they showed me my screen? Let me see. Oh, I'm really live. But let me do something. Yeah, okay. Let me turn down the YouTube. What's I'm live? This is hella funny. But the meme is being live. All right, now I need to see because I'm at a track meet and I'm bored, so I'm just trying to get a Zoom. All right, all right, copy. All right, let me so it's crazy. My phone is that boo. What did YouTube go? I'm out and about, but I'm about to paste in case somebody wants. It's my first time even trying to do from my phone. Do y'all hear? Can y'all hear me? I know y'all can hear me though. Man, I'm at a track meet in the straight storm, man. I ain't about to be sitting at no track meet bored all day. So tap in, somebody. Let's do the knowledge. Can y'all hear me? Oh, you can't hear me. All right, cool. I'm going to the car, man. I'm tired of this. We're about to do the knowledge. Oh, man. Yeah, man, this ain't it. And that's why I don't be on Instagram because I broke my phone, but I don't want to get no new phone. Excuse me. So let me get to the car so I can go build. But I'm gonna mute out the camera. If somebody come in Zoom, we can just build. Yeah. I don't know. I think they bored with the conversations in the conscious community, right? Look out here, stormy days, boy. Y'all know how we do. I got that busted camera though. Look. What's up, Cedric? I'm trying to learn how to zoom from my phone. Click the link. Let's get it in. Let me see if somebody clicked the link. I'm waiting for y'all to click the link, man. Nah, it's gonna be crazy. I was looking at Doggy Diamonds. Doggy Diamonds flame Hassan Campbell. All right, cool. I'm about to go on mute camera and just get my chill on. Why Doggy Diamonds flame? What's his name? I'm at a track meet. I'm not staying at no track meet. Look, I'm a sports dad and stuff, but I don't know all this stuff. And they telling me that my daughter throw a shot put. Hold up, admit. My daughter throw a shot put, but she get out. But they talking about we need to be here from 7 to 5. Let me go see it. So with
What's up? What's up? What's up?
Who's that? Stoopies?
Stoopies.
Stoopies, what's up with you, boy? I think you just went on mute.
Peace, man.
What's up, Cedric? Cedric, what y'all doing?
I'm just chilling, trying to formulate my opinion correctly on the discussions over the last couple of days, especially surrounding the Pan-African subject. And my position is very nuanced, so I tend to stay out of ideological conversations. And what we fail to realize is that we're having a conversation of ideology, and it's a philosophical one. So it's not one that is rooted in anything practical or anything real. A philosopher will tell you, we will sit and argue about the nature of a rock for 50 years and it has no real purpose. Like, that's just what we do. We engage in intellectual discourse and in sharpening the mind. But the conversations is going way left. I'm hearing all kind of crazy talk as if we're going to develop nations within nations and these kind of what? Let's slow it down. Let me tell you what it means from living outside of the US and embracing the Pan-African concept. Colonialism has conditioned a lot of minds to be completely and totally disconnected from the continent by your ethnicity. We accept identities that are completely false in terms of our ethnicity. You ask the average Caribbean person who they are, they will either tell you their island or the nationality. And depending on your political status, for example, Jamaicans independent, they will identify themselves as a Jamaican. There's a disconnect to my ethnicity being African. So I will answer that question now, embracing the concept of Pan-Africanism as to where I'm from, the history, and what it all means, because colonialism don't engage in actually teaching you about the African slave trade. They talk about the West Indies Company, and they pretend that this mighty organizations, political structure, and they talk all about the nuances of these entities that the European created as a means of using African labor to produce wealth. For example, the Dutch, their primary source of income was from the salt that they derived from islands like St. Martin, my island, and later Bonaire. Like, we didn't have much cotton and these type of things. So it's a nuanced discussion. Also, at the end of slavery in the Caribbean, most Europeans got up and left. We did not go through Jim Crow. We did not have to deal with segregation and these type of things from a political and ideological structure to keep the Negro in a particular paradigm. So I'm very nuanced when I get in these discussions. But in 2023, are we really trying to create a Black nation within nations? Or are we talking about getting up from all the work that you've done in your community, Smash, leaving that all alone and migrating back to Africa on some Marcus Garvey type frequency? Are we really talking about doing that? Like, really?
That's very good, and you laid it out very well. I think some of us are actually talking about that, and some are not. And it's gonna come down to that. And so ultimately, the same divisions that you find, in any type of theoretical analysis of what we should do, it's going to be some people with it and some not, basically. But what we should probably, and I think that along the lines of what you're discussing, is what is most probable and realistic. Everything, I mean, most things would be possible, but like, let's just be, I don't even want to say let's just be real, because even forming new nations and all of that stuff, those are realities. But it's like, are we trying to say that what the Jews did with this little pseudo nation called Israel that they stole in like the 50s or the 40s or whatever, are we saying that plan of action, that course of actions, is one that we should try to embark upon, like finding some land, saying this ours and making it ours, erecting a flag? Because that took place with war that they were already pre-positioned to win. You know what I'm saying? And so I support Reggie's Black City plan, but if I was and ideas like that, but if I was to draw out one, mine's would not, it would be a little different. But yeah, I think that we should work internally in America. Some people might think what I'm saying is some sellout stuff, but I think you should try to be a good Black American. If that sounds like sellout stuff, then hey, so be it. But that we got laws and we got all the stuff in place that we don't want to use because we feel like it's not for us. Like, so somebody breaking your house, you don't want to call the police. That's stupid. Go ahead.
Can I interject?
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Subies.
As somebody in the Caribbean with Cedric. No, I'm in America now, but I'm somebody from the Caribbean, like Cedric. We are like astronomers. Our perspective tend to be broader than the you in America. This might be unfair saying this, but when we look at it, somebody from a small island looking at Black people all over the world. But because you are in such a big country, Smash, and you have so much Black people to concentrate on, sometimes you don't look beyond your borders. So some of the struggles that we see as persons on the island, the whole vast world,
You're in the twilight zone, Stupid. You're breaking up bad. You're breaking up bad.
Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you, Smash.
Yeah, you were breaking up, but we heard you say that, so try to continue.
Yeah, so like you, because you are surrounded in a more complex situation, it is harder for Smash to see everybody globally. No, Pan-American Pan-Africanism don't really require a set state. Just like how Jews but Israel is actually a lighthouse. It's actually a symbol to Jews all over the world. We as Africans who came to the Americas, not North America alone, South America and the Caribbean, don't really have that lighthouse. Don't really have that shining hill to look up on and say, this is what we want to do and this is what we want to build. We don't really need a state, but sometimes you just need a symbol. Black Americans used to be the symbol for every other Black people around the world as the most successful Americans. But Black Americans tell you that Pan-Americanism, Pan-Africanism, and ADOS cannot exist simultaneously. That's the feedback I'm getting. Tell me if I'm wrong.
Well, real quick, that must be wrong. That's only one camp. That's some new stuff I think is divisive. And the new strike at Pan-Africanism is being led by Tariq Nasheed, if you ask me. And because he's not doing it in a way that he's saying, I don't like Pan-Africanism. He's like, hold on, let's focus on us first, Blacks in America. And I mean, everybody should focus on their regional politics first, of course. Even if you was like on the continent, you're a Nigerian, of course you're going to focus on your proximity folks, but I don't think that's in juxtaposition to a Pan-African stance. You know what I'm saying? And so I don't appreciate, I don't agree with, and I mean, if you want to ask me what I am, I'm Pan-Africanist. All Africans count to me. And so if other people just want to individualize, so be it, but there's not much power in that. So that's how I feel.
Agreed. Being on these panels, and you could see all the different backgrounds that are here. This is Pan-Africanism. We are united based on that principle that we share a common Blackness, and I embrace that. To my brother Stupi's point, being a Black man from the Caribbean, having lived in Europe for 10 years, I've been exposed to a multitude of Africans. So when I'm engaging in these discussions, for example, I know exactly how a Northeast African looks, right? I know how someone from Chad looks. And so when we get the discussion and it surrounds Sudan and how the ancient Egyptians look, I can go, okay, now those people are still right there though. And they're Black, because I interacted with these people and they call themselves Black. We unite on our Blackness. He identifies that I'm a brother from the Caribbean. He's a Eritrean. He's a Somalian. He's from the Sudan. We recognize the difference, but we unite based on us being Black. So Pan-Africanism is very much alive and exists. Sorry about that. Daddy.
Yeah, no,
so
I'll go continue.
Yeah, so that whole but the conversation gets conflated in terms of what now does that mean? The continent has African rulers, African leaders, and that's a country that is for and should be ran by those indigenous Africans. Any type of support we can give to the state of mind that Africa is for Africans, right? And however they unify, fine. But our position in these diaspora is completely different. We are part of the total system. If we get elected to office, we represent everybody. How do you segregate and represent only? Now you can work for your community. Reggie's Black City Plan, for example, I appreciate that. But when you get elected in the systems that we live in, when you engage in law, it is within the system that we are bred and part and parcel of, and the societies that we have helped create over here. We have to accept the reality that we're a new thing. I don't know how else to explain it. Doesn't take away from our Africanness, but we need to operate and maneuver within the communities that we have. Money and education. Education produces finances. Finances produces better opportunity. And generation by generation, you creep out of the position that we're in. I lived in Europe. I studied in Europe. The window washer was a white guy. Like the window washer wasn't a Black guy. They do menial jobs in their country. The garbage collectors are Europeans. They ain't all rich. If they don't go to university, they don't get a top job. They don't make top dollar. The country may be rich, but there are the same levels of social classes and divisions that exist. Even in our utopian Black community, these same nuances will continue to exist. Smash will always be smash. So when we're having these ideological discussions, we need to separate them from the practical and discussions that are firmly rooted in reality. I love a good ideological discussion, but doesn't make that discussion practical by any means or sense. I'm just saying.
I agree. We got some other people on the panel. What's up with y'all?
So we have very long memories. And if we go back, yeah. Peace to Stu. Peace. Yeah. And if we go back many years, we can remember what was happening in Grenada. We can remember what was happening in South America. And we can remember what was happening in Africa. In South America and Nicaragua, there were always conflicts with so-called independent nations trying to represent themselves globally. Nations, especially nations of people of color, were not allowed to express themselves as they choose fit. Would you agree or disagree with me on that?
I see.
No disagreement there.
Right? No, we see it happening in the 70s. And we see it happening on the continent. No, it's not every country can express themselves as they choose fit. If some countries decide that I want a socialistic construct, like what existed in Singapore, because although Singapore is a rich country, it is a socialist country. Or I want a socialist construct that exists in China or in Hong Kong. Sometimes they are not allowed to do it because it goes against the grain and conflicts happen. That's all I'm saying. So when you look at it as why black people not doing what is best for them, sometimes they're trying to do what is best for them, but what they perceive as being best for them, others might not perceive as being best overall. So many nations, conflicts happen. And it might be from external as well as internal opinions, which resulted in these conflicts. Do you think that anybody wants Sudan to be a stable nation? No, they don't want Sudan to be a stable nation because Sudan is a stable nation. They have a commodity that the whole world needs. So now they now can decide what to do with that commodity. Sudan would be as rich as Saudi Arabia, and cell phones would cost $10,000. And they'll give somebody else the floor.
So that seems like that is evident in the truth. Like nations not forming around trade or a product is just going to be a poor nation. And you will be worse than a third world country if you establish anything and don't got no gross domestic product or no trade.
That's a fact. And it's a fact of reality for many of these smaller Caribbean islands. I have no export, I have no product. The only thing that we really rely on is tourism. Independence or separation from a colonial system would mean suicide. It just simply would. So why would I engage in the concept of total separation at this point in time in history, when the world is getting smaller and smaller, becoming more and more globalized, and I have a direct connection to the European Union.
Hold on, let me
Yeah,
see.
we still.
Yes, sir.
But when you talk about the Jewish people, they always, regardless of where they live at, say if they live in the United States or they live wherever they live at, they always repatriate back to the homeland. And they want the people from the diaspora to come back to the Jewish land and partake in business and things of that nature. I don't see why we don't take some of their stuff out of their playbook and do the same thing in the homeland.
I was testing out my Zoom to see if I could crack it from the phone. My daughter about to throw shot put in 10 minutes, so I'm about to tap in with this. But thank y'all for helping out. When I get back to the house, I'm about to be live. But thanks for tapping in and letting me know I could go live from my phone. I'm gonna close the Zoom down. I appreciate it.
Big up to everybody. Yeah.
Big up. Peace, peace, peace. Let me see.